Hello and welcome. As you already know, in my previous video regarding the coronavirus, I mentioned about the origin, duration and cure regarding that. In this video, I made some few new discoveries regarding the coronavirus. I discovered a new comet in regards to the origin and probably the duration of coronavirus. Well, in ancient Hindu astrology, comets, or also known as Dhumketu, have not been considered auspicious. There are a few comets which are considered auspicious, but most of them are considered inauspicious. And what inauspicious results can a comet bring? It has been mentioned in a lot of classical works by our sages. Mention of comets are there in the Rig Vedas, our Vedas and Puranas as well, and during major events such as Mahabharata, there is also mention of these comets. So today in this video I will be discussing about the impact of a special comet which I researched, how it is associated with this coronavirus and the probable duration of this. Hello friends, welcome to my channel Vedic Astrology Guru. Here we discuss Vedic astrology, its deepest concepts and deep researches regarding the astrological subject itself. The subject is also known as Jyotisha, but today, as we already know, in the month of March as of now, the plague of coronavirus, also known as COVID-19, has taken up all over the world, and there has been huge number of deaths due to this. Although this is not a really great subject to explore, but as an astrological researcher, it becomes my duty to bring awareness to fellow astrologers and the people who are associated with this stream, that what is the origin of this coronavirus and what is the duration of this. So recently I have been researching this subject. You can check my last video regarding this. There is extensive research which I have provided, what I have provided so far. I did few more, I researched for a step further, and I discovered that there is a new comet which is about to show up. And this new comet is Comet Atlas. It was discovered on the 28th of December 2019, and this is the month when the pandemic of coronavirus started in the city of Wuhan in China. We already know that. Presently this comet is in western Ursa Major constellation, and it will shift into the boundaries of Camel, also known by the name of the giraffe. By March 29, this would have moved to Camel, which is about to happen now. Comet Atlas will be just 23.5 million miles from the Sun on 31st of May. So on 31st of May 2020, this will be the brightest, at its brightest, to the viewers and the observers on Earth, which makes it very important. So this date becomes very important in itself, because in classical astrological texts it is mentioned when the comet comes closer or shows the most brightness, it is at its brightest, then is the most impact which is seen from that comet on Earth. In regards to being good or bad, that is something to be found later, but that is what has been told. The brightness will make the impact. So basically the brightness is again, it is basically telling us that either it is closest to the sun or closest to the earth, which eventually even if it is closest to the sun, definitely it is approaching closest to the earth. But these constellations, the Ursa Major and Comet Atlas, are also of great importance here, because there is a classical mention. This is mentioned in classics, what is the impact of such a comet. So what is mentioned in the classics? Now this is a shloka which is taken from Brihat Samhita. It is a very old text. It is a very old astrological text. As you can see, this is the shloka. I'm just showing it to you so you can have a check over this yourself. But what it translates to, so basically it translates to that there is a Chalaketu. Now Chalaketu is also known as a comet or a movable comet rising in the west. His crest is an inch high and is turned to the south. His length increases the more it goes to the north, after touching the 7 sages Vashishtha. Now this is very important. The Ursa Major constellation has 7 set of stars, which is referred to the 7 sages here, which also denotes the Saptarishi Mandala of stars. So the Saptarishi Mandala of stars becomes really very of great importance here, and others, and also the pole star. Now this comet is approaching towards the pole star as well. I have checked the trajectory of this comet. And the star Abhijit, he returns after travelling half the sky and sets in the south. When this comet appears, now the important part, what are the effects of this comet? When this comet appears, people in the region beginning from the banks of Prayag and extending to the town of Ujjain, which is in India itself, and Pushkara forests will be destroyed. So I believe these regions in India will be impacted hugely. Those living in the north as far as Devika river and the whole of middle country will be wiped out. This is not a good news. What it further mentions, what will be the impact, what will be the cause of this, which is highlighted here. Other countries will suffer from disease and famine. And the most result which is disheartening here is that these effects will happen in the course of 10 months. Others say it will be felt for 18 months. Now this is the classical text which refers to the effect of comets, which we in astrology sometimes do not observe these, don't make these kind of observations, which is very important. Now getting back to the comet itself. Now I will tell you about the Ursa Major. The Ursa Major is also known as the Big Dipper, is known from the astrum of the main 7 stars. We just talked about the Saptarishi, the 7 stars called the Saptarishi in Vedic astrology is primarily the Big Dipper. So if you want to Google it, if you want to search about it, you can go and check this for yourself, which spans from the zodiac. Now what is the important part here? Now this, although this constellation, the Ursa Major, is not on the ecliptic, it's not in the zone of the zodiac signs, but it is on the edge of these 2 signs, Leo and Cancer. How? Let me show you. Now you can see, let me show you, let me zoom up. Now this is the Ursa Major, and if you take a close look here, if you take a closer look, then it is, if you see at the bottom, if you go towards the equator, at the bottom you will see that Leo and Cancer is associated with the Ursa Major. So this Ursa Major is connected to these 2 signs. Now why the importance of Leo here? Because Leo, the planet lord of Leo, is Sun, which in Vedic astrology represents the soul, or the energy by which human beings are alive, which makes it more important. So this zodiac sign is impacted. Definitely the sun. Without the sun, we already know there will be no life form without the sun on this planet. So this sign is impacted, and Cancer as well. Now, Cancer also represents, the Lord of Cancer is Moon, and Moon represents your emotional mind. As we already know, during this pandemic, we all are suffering hugely emotionally. There is no barriers, there are no extent to it as of now. Now what about the other constellation? Camelopardalis, or also known as the Camel. So Camelopardalis constellation, known as the Camel, is the northern constellation above Auriga and below Ursa Minor, between Perseus and Lynx. The biggest star spans 3 degrees of the zodiac sign Gemini. So as this comet will approach to this constellation here, to this set of stars here, it will impact the Gemini, which is the communication, which is the freedom of people, which is the courage of people. All these things will be impacted. A lot of astrologers already are aware of all the characteristics of Gemini, and I will not go into the details of that. Also, you can associate the nakshatras and associated nakshatras with the Gemini. So how is this Camelopardalis working? As you can see on the map, this is the part where Camelopardalis, this is the part where this comet will approach, just after Ursa Minor. So it is going like that. Let me show you the real picture for this as well. As you can see, this is the Saptarishi Mandala here, which is associated with the Ursa Major. And I'm not so sure if these faint stars are visible to you, but let me zoom it up for you. This is the Saptarishi Mandala here. It is like this, a rectangular box, and with the stars attached below here, like this. And this is the trajectory of the Comet Atlas. It has been observed by telescopes as on March 22nd, then March 31st. It is going from right to left towards the Camelopardalis. But if you are checking it from the above the earth as an observer, then it is going from left to right to the Camelopardalis from Ursa Major here. So comets, the hailing of comets, the viewing of comets, this is not considered so greatly in the classics and Vedic astrology. So we already know that this comet, this kind of comet, which is also associated with the Saptarishi Mandala, may bring chaos in a form of diseases on the planet, which is already happening. But what important here is that this date, the 31st of May, will be the date when we will see this comet at its brightest. So I believe the impact of this comet will be at maximum, which will show that adverse things will be seen up till this period, and post this period it will gradually start to faint off. And that is what I believe. After this date, in the coming weeks, we can see that this pandemic may gradually start to shrink, or there may be some new development in regards to handling this pandemic. So this is very important here. So this is something which I researched. So this is a short research which I did for you guys. You can do research further as well. And if you find this research interesting, you can leave your comment down in the section below. If there is a question, you can still leave down your comments. And if you want to join my research along with me, if you want to study astrology through me, I conduct online courses. You are most welcome to do that. So that is that. And as of now, with the casualties happening all across the world by this COVID-19 coronavirus pandemic, I really wish and I really pray for all the people that they should remain in good health. Kindly stay indoors, because that is the only way we can handle this pandemic as of now. Avoid socialization, avoid going outside until and unless it is really necessary. So that is the only message, and it is time we should start looking inwardsly and try to connect with the higher consciousness inside of each of us. Namaste.